Batty and Craig heads to one of the most dangerous places in Kenya for the biggest wildlife operation of his life.
You know, as captures go, this is massive. Everything's being flown in by 2 helicopters, aircraft, people.
Airborne teams will attempt to capture and relocate an important and rare species of antelope. But when deadly predators are found inside the new enclosure, it's a scramble to save the operation.
That's gonna cause havoc, this is.
Battian's courage is put to the test when he comes face to face with one of Africa's big cats. It's just another busy week in the life of a Kenyan game reserve. Wildlife expert Batty and Craig, along with a small capture team from the old Cheetah Conservancy, are in a remote part of northern Kenya. They are joining an important and potentially dangerous operation to capture a unique and extremely rare species of antelope called a Hirola. Poaching has sent Hirola numbers into a downward spiral. To save the species, a plan has been hatched. 50 Hirola, mostly female, will be captured and put into a predator-free sanctuary for a breeding program. Normally, capturing antelopes is straightforward, but the Hirola live in an isolated habitat on the Kenya-Somali border. Somalia is a country without a government. It has been locked in a brutal civil war for 20 years that has now spilled into Kenya. If that were not challenging enough, there are few roads there, and the capture will have to be done entirely by helicopter, an expensive proposition.
You know, as captures go, this is massive. Everything's being flown in by 2 helicopters, aircraft, people, out of an area that there's not a road, there's not a person, there's just no human presence at all. It's pretty unique.
That's not the worst of it. The area has been infiltrated by Al-Shabaab, a terrorist organization linked to a rash of kidnappings of Europeans in the area. Every day spent on the operation increases the chances that the members of the capture team and their helicopters will become targets.
You know, Europeans have been targeted. There are a few of us down here on this capture. It's not going to change anything. We're just got to be slightly cautious. Kidnappings have been an issue with Somalia. But to be honest, it's in the back of our minds, and we've got a job to do with the capture.
The Hirola project is a partnership between the NRT, the Northern Range Land Trust, and the local Ishak community. The Hirola are a source of great pride to the community, and they will run the new sanctuary with the support of the NRT. The actual capture operation will be carried out by a coalition of wildlife groups, including Old Cheetah and Lewa conservancies, and the Kenya Wildlife Service. Heading the project on the ground is NRT zoologist Dr. Juliet King.
Hirola is the most endangered antelope in the world, in fact. It's a large antelope, about the size of a hartebeest. Originally, they thought it was of the hartebeest family, but in fact, it's its own genus, and it's a lineage that diverted from the hartebeest many, many millions of years ago. We estimate there are only about 460 Hirola left. And they only exist between the Tana River in Kenya, stretching up towards and into Somalia. NRT is an umbrella organization for community conservancies in northern Kenya. And our role is really developing the capacity of the conservancies for management of wildlife on their land. And it's an integrated approach of wildlife and livestock and coexistence of wildlife and livestock on that land.
First order of business. Juliet oversees the completion of the sanctuary fence that is being built by the Ishak community. In total, they will fence in an area of 4,000 acres, roughly 4 times the size of New York's Central Park.
We've got 20 casual workers who are digging a trench to bury the netting of the fence about a foot down. And this is to basically prevent any predators from digging under the fence, particularly hyenas, which, as we're aware, are a big problem here. We've got a lot of them. These guys have been working for about 4 months now on this fence. So basically, the aim today is to finish and leave a gap of only about 100 meters, which we will leave open to push some Hirola in with the helicopter tomorrow. And then we'll finish by closing the fence completely.
Okay, which are you up for?
Batian will head the capture team along with senior KWS vet Isaac Lekalal. But on this first day, he helps with the building of temporary holding pens.
This is 2 holding pens that will be a pre-release boma. Animals obviously caught out in the field. Brought here, put in this for 12 to 24 hours max. You know, they're obviously going to be drugged, so we'll watch them here for a certain period of time, make sure they're 100% when we're all in agreement that they're good to go. We open up half the pen and let them out.
With the fence and holding pens complete, the first part of the capture operation can begin. They'll be herding Hirola from the air. NRT pilot Peter Lempatu is up in the air in a small Super Cub airplane. Throughout the capture, his job will be to remain airborne and to look for groups of animals to be captured. He'll then direct the helicopter where to find them. The plan is to take advantage of their close proximity to the new sanctuary and push them through a gap that has been left in the fence. The more animals they are able to round up in this chase will take pressure off later, when each Hirola will need to be loaded inside the helicopter and transported to the sanctuary.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me come to the gap and then walk my way away from the gap.
Yeah, that's the best. We want to start closest to the gap. Just speaking to Peter, he's up looking for the animals he found this morning. As soon as he's found enough, we'll call the chopper and start pushing.
Mike Watson, CEO of Lewa Conservancy, is piloting the helicopter. He does a quick flyover to make sure all signs of human presence is gone. Even a whiff of human scent can cause the Hirola to turn away from the trap. Mike has years of experience flying capture operations, but like most of this team, he has never worked with Hirola before, so he is not sure what to expect. He begins to push a small group, which for the most part respond exactly the way he wants them to. He herds them towards the gap in the fence. Animals are territorial, and they don't like to be pushed beyond their boundaries. But the noise and size of the helicopter is enough to get them running. As they get closer to the opening in the fence, Mike has to be more aggressive to keep driving them forward. So far, this is going well. But at the fence, they turn abruptly. They don't want to go through. Mike makes a quick maneuver to block their exit. He gets them headed back in the right direction. The group goes through. They have 13 females and 5 males, a terrific start. With enough males now in the sanctuary, they will strictly focus on females. Wildlife expert Batian Craig is in northern Kenya, where he is part of a massive operation. A coalition of wildlife groups is capturing Hirola, a critically endangered antelope. The plan is to capture approximately 50 animals, mostly female, and relocate them into a predator-free fenced sanctuary. Conservationists hope that in a protected space, they will breed and rebuild their numbers, saving them from extinction. It's a strategy that is working with a number of endangered species. But this particular operation is massive, expensive, and dangerous. Day 2 of the airborne operation begins. The capture site is near the Somali border, where Kenya has been fighting a war with Al-Shabaab, a militant group responsible for terrorist attacks and the kidnapping and killing of Europeans in Kenya. Because of the security risk, the team will limit their time capturing in any one place. To do this, they will need to set up, tear down, and relocate the trap each day. It's a logistical nightmare because everything from the traps to the personnel have to be moved by helicopter. And there are just 2 for the entire operation. To limit the travel distance, the team will use a secure forward base to stockpile equipment and fuel for the helicopter.
We're now going to head, we need some guys on the ground and at the site. So this is first load, so when the choppers start ferrying all the kit in, we've got people on the ground to offload.
The front lines in the fighting between Kenya and Somalia is about 25 kilometers to the north. But no one can say with any certainty where an attack could come from. So as a precaution, armed teams travel with them. Pilot Mike Watson returns from dropping the first team. Now, he and KWS pilot, Major Koak, will begin ferrying the many loads of heavy equipment. At the capture site, equipment is offloaded. Batian and senior KWS vet Isaac Lekalol get busy setting up. A capture trap is massive. Several hundred meters of nets are set up in the shape of a large fishbowl. The helicopter drives the animals into the fishbowl, where they get tangled in the nets.
These nets are the sort of belly of the trap at the moment. You will catch some in here, but most of them will put drop nets within. Those will be where most of them, they run into this sort of wall and try and turn on their way back out is when they get caught on the inside of the drop nets.
Everything is set and ready to go. But the operation hits a major snag. A game scout has caught a brief glimpse of something trying to make a kill inside the sanctuary, but was unable to identify it through the thick bush. One of the biggest threats to the survival of the few remaining Hirola are natural predators.
They're arguing over whether it's a cheetah or a leopard track, and explaining that a cheetah track in soft sand, the claws for the cheetah won't show because they go too deep. So I think we're going to follow the tracks and see who's right. And if you're wrong...
It's not a small problem. A single cheetah or leopard could wreak havoc on the breeding program. As they walk, they begin to smell a kill.
We're all following our noses now to try and locate the smell and see if we can find what animal has been killed and what's killed it.
Soon, they find what they are looking for.
It's a dik-dik, but it hasn't really been eaten. It's eaten a little bit.
The results are inconclusive, but if it were a big cat, this would have dire consequences for the project. Now a new plan is hatched. Rangers will step up patrols and capture cages have been brought out. When the predator is found, every resource will be allocated to remove it. With Juliet and her team looking for cheetah or leopard, and Batian and Isaac finishing the trap, KWS vet Matthew Matinda takes advantage of the lull to collar an elephant. The story of the elephants in this area of Kenya is one of decline. Heavy poaching in the 1980s by Somali rebels decimated the elephant population. With the renewed conflict on the Somali border, once again poaching is an active threat. The Kenyan Wildlife Service wants to put a radio collar on one of the remaining elephants in the area to track its movements.
But if there are 3, we knock one down. The 2 we can chase to a good area. Then when this is down and we are comfortable, we go, we wake it up, get rushed to the chopper, get out.
Matthew has chosen a large bull elephant. He will dart it from the helicopter with a powerful tranquilizer. Once it is down, they'll be dropped off to put on the collar. The elephant is found in a forested area next to the Tana River. With the helicopter doing the herding, it's quickly separated from the others and pushed to an open area. Matthew takes aim. He darts the elephant on his first try. Now they pull back and wait for the drug to take effect. Major Koek is new to capture work and the KWS. He's an experienced military pilot who has flown several tours of duty in Bosnia for the United Nations, and his combat flying skills will come in handy. Capture work requires quick thinking and a steady hand under extreme conditions. The elephant has gone down in an awkward position. The way it's sitting, the elephant's enormous weight makes it difficult for the animal to breathe. Matthew and his assistant attempt to roll the animal onto its side. But the groggy elephant is too heavy. Matthew decides to go ahead and put on the collar. The pair work fast, and they attach the collar. Matthew gets the antidote to the tranquilizer. He'll administer it, and then the pair will sprint to the chopper and get back in the air. There's no time for dawdling. If the elephant wakes too soon, it will charge the chopper and crew. With the job done, they head back to join the Hirola capture. Back at the capture site, Batian's team is close to finishing the setup of the capture nets. He and Isaac go over the final plans. Mike takes to the sky. He's scouting for Hirola to steer towards the nets.
So this is our first actual drive into the nets, you know. For all of us, there's only 2 of us, or 2 people that have seen Hirola being caught in nets. So a bit of an eye-opener. We've got 3 on the way now. Obviously the nets are set up, and this is just a complete test to see how the whole system works. You know, keep it down to a few to begin with. Don't want to be greedy at this stage.
Mike begins to push a small group of Hirola. They head straight towards the nets. Batian takes care not to get impaled on the animal's horns.
All males, eh?
The nets were a success, but unfortunately, all the animals in this group are male. At this point, they only need females, so these will be let go.
Try again tomorrow, but what is clear is these big herds are mainly males, and we've got to find the herds that have got calves with them to guarantee that they're females.
Day 2 finishes with mixed results. They now know the nets worked for the Hirola capture, but they'll have to refine their search to capture females. Wildlife expert Batty Craig and a team from the Old Cheetah Conservancy are in northern Kenya, taking part in a massive animal capture on the Somali border. The focus is a rare antelope species called the Hirola. Poaching and natural predators have put the Hirola on the critically endangered list. Now the plan is to capture 50 animals, mostly female, and relocate them to a large 4,000-acre predator-free enclosure and start a breeding program. This is a crucial step at a crucial time for the species. But just 2 days in, the operation has had a major setback. Animal tracks, possibly cheetah, were found inside the sanctuary enclosure. The presence of just a single predator is enough to shut down the entire operation, meaning the considerable investment of time and money would be lost, and the Hirola would remain vulnerable. Day 3 starts with more bad news. It's not one, but 2 cheetahs prowling the sanctuary. So for today, the plan to capture Hirola is put on hold. The focus turns to this new threat. Batian and KWS vet Isaac Lekalal head up in a chopper flown by veteran wildlife pilot Mike Watson. The plan? They'll search out the cheetahs, dart them, and release them outside the fenced sanctuary.
There's one on our nose. Okay, there's one here as well. There's 2 together. Let's just keep chasing them a bit until they get shot down. Okay, you can tell now, Julia, we got 2. There's one now.
Spooked by the noise of the helicopter, the cheetahs take flight. They're so fast that even from the air, it's hard to keep them both in sight. They've lost the first cat in the underbrush. The need to use the helicopters to find these predators is putting stress on the Hirola capture. The choppers are expensive tools, and any time away from the capture is time and money that can't be recovered. Juliet and her trackers come in to search from the ground.
Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Where's the other one? I've got one in front of us. Where's the other one?
The second cheetah bolts in a different direction, and Mike needs to make a quick decision. Stay and find the first one, or follow number 2.
Can you see it? Oh, it's up in a tree. Get a dart in it. Hang on, I'll come down low.
Isaac takes his shot. The dart misses, and the cheetah runs.
Yeah, right back in. Yeah, I've got it. Okay. Can you keep an eye on my fuel as well, because I know I'm getting low. 29. A minute? 29 minutes. Hey, can you put another dart in, Isaac? You got another dart ready?
He preps another dart. Luckily, the cheetah hasn't gone far. It's climbed a tree, which makes it an easier target.
Just let me get right down for you. Right down. Right down. A bit more. Wait. Wait. That's it. Dart in.
The second dart hits its mark, and the cheetah starts to run. But there's another problem. Mike is running out of fuel.
I wonder if we can get it out of this tree before it falls out of the tree. It's not a big tree. It's not that big. Okay, you've got 23 minutes. Yeah. Okay, let's try and find somewhere to land before we run out of fuel.
He decides to follow, even though his fuel situation is becoming critical.
Oh, it's good now. Running. It's running. Okay.
They have lost the ground team, and unless Mike continues to follow the cheetah, they will lose it.
It's still running? Yeah. No. Stop.
Luckily, the cheetah slows.
Even if we get one on the ground with an airband. Yeah. Have you got an airband? I've got an airband. Okay, well you get ready and I'll see if I can... That spot there. This here. No, just in front of us, because that's where it's going. Okay. Just in there, you might need to sort of climb down off the skid. Yeah, I'll take my seatbelt off. Make sure my tail rotor is clear, please. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Go forward a little bit. Forward a little bit. Bring your tail to the right a little bit. My right. Your right a little bit. Okay, now unplug the headset. Unplug the headset. Yep.
There's no place to set the chopper down. The best that Mike can do is to get within 15 feet of the ground. Batian jumps. He will use his shirt as a blindfold for the cheetah. The cheetah is drugged, but still alert. Batian approaches it with caution. With its eyes covered, it begins to calm down.
You know, obviously putting these Hirola in, and the biggest threat to the Hirola are the predators. And there's been 2 cheetah in here. And we've just literally been waiting for an opportunity, if they get seen, to try and dart them. Luckily, we managed to get one. There's one less cheetah in here, and hopefully save one more Hirola. And they've been darted and gone down in horrendous bush to the point that we couldn't get in here. We obviously had to jump in from the chopper, but we'll just let this drug take a little bit more effect, and then we'll try and carry it out of here. It sounds like it's about a K to the road.
As the team prepares the cheetah, the vehicle with veterinarian Matthew Matinda arrives. They're taking the cheetah outside the sanctuary gates. They'll release it and reverse the drug. But they realize they have another major problem. Normally, Matthew would top up the drug and keep the cheetah under sedation. But the tranquilizer is with Isaac in the helicopter. They have less than 15 minutes to get to the gates before the drug wears off, and they have a fully awake cheetah in the car. The gate is several kilometers away. They'll be cutting it close. They soon realize that they have another problem. They're completely lost. Even for these veterans, in a featureless environment, it's tough to keep your bearings. Batian has no choice. He has to call in a plane to guide them out.
Right, deal.
It's now a race to get outside the gates before the cheetah wakes up in the car. The plane will guide them the rest of the way. Everyone is relieved when they reach the gate. They quickly remove the cheetah.
We don't want to keep him any longer down. So I give him a jab, we make him come around, and we let him go.
We'll do Hirola.
Yeah.
You stay here. Pengine moja yako shuka, si ndio? Unaja na watu yote.
The drug wears off, and the cheetah wobbles to its feet, safely outside the sanctuary, and with Batian's shirt as a souvenir. Batian Craig and his team from Old Pejeta are in northern Kenya. They are working with the Northern Rangeland Trust in the capture of a rare, critically endangered species of antelope called a Hirola. The plan is to move them into a predator-free sanctuary to start a breeding program to boost their numbers. But the entire plan came to a halt when a game scout found 2 cheetahs inside the sanctuary, a threat that could stop the entire operation. Using a helicopter, Batian and a KWS vet were able to tranquilize and remove one of the cats. With one out of the way, the helicopter is back up searching for the second cheetah. They locate the second cheetah, but there's an unwelcome surprise. She has 4 large cubs with her. What was once critical could now be a catastrophe.
There they are, they're going into that water. See the water there? Yeah, they are bloody hell. Look at that. Tell them open the gate. Open the gate and we'll see if we can go that way.
When they open the gate, can they open the gate? Off the east, we'll see if we can drive them. Please on, open the gate.
That's going to cause havoc, this is. What, herding cats.
It's a high-stakes moment. Batian makes a quick call.
That is the mother. We stick with the mother. I know that's mean, but it's probably the best bet.
They'll separate the mom from her litter and remove the cheetahs one by one.
It's easier when they're out in this open. Yeah. I'm running around in a circle. And then let's ask Matthew to make us a whole bunch of darts.
Matthew can make up a whole bunch of darts, please.
Down below us there. You got it, Isaac? Oh, yeah, right below us. Wait. I just want to try and keep her out of this open stuff for you, Isaac. Okay, that's the fence on our nose, huh? Right. Hang on, mate, I'm looking at this. Wait. She's still got some proof. Let's just run her until she's absolutely f***ed up. Then I think come around and see if we can get her up against the fence as batch of mistake. This wind is quite a bastard and I can't. Nice, slowly, I'll get you an angle in a minute. I'll just try and push her up against this. Watch my tail, please. Yeah, you fine? Now that I'm going to be going backwards probably, there you go. Yeah, you fine?
The exhausted cheetah has nowhere to run.
Watch my tail.
Isaac gets a dart into her.
Okay, if we can get the vehicle here, please.
He's just preparing, just told those guys if the vehicle will come fast ahead, because they have got 2 vehicles and then the other one can wait for Cheetah.
Perfect, on that.
Yeah, she has. She definitely has. Definitely. If you land here, we can just grab her and put her over.
This is a hands-on job. The cheetah is drugged, but just how drugged is a question mark. They approach with caution. When the cheetah tries to run, it's clear the drug is working.
Daktari iko wapi? Let's put it over, shall we? Over and into the shade. 1, 2, 3. Shingo. Here.
That's fascinating. Yes, there's 5 cheetah.
No way. Yeah, they're lying. Right, we better...
The mother is out of the sanctuary. Now it's back to get the cubs, one at a time. a cub will always return to the last place it was together with its mother.
There, we can bring them up this onto the fence.
Yeah. Between that sandy area, just on the edge of that sandy area. If you can see Juliet, they're 100 meters ahead of Juliet to the south.
Yeah.
A cub is separated from the rest. Like the mother, they run it towards the fence to tire it out.
Hey, wait. Knackered them. I could almost pick this thing up. Have we got a dolphin? No. The thing's finished.
Batian volunteers to experiment with a new method, catching the tired cheetah by hand and without sedation. Mike heads back up. From the air, he'll be able to follow it easier as it runs. Drugging the cats while this exhausted can be dangerous for them, but it's risky for Batian. Even a small cheetah like this one can seriously maul a human. He pulls the cheetah by its tail. Batian grabs it by the scruff of the neck and runs for the fence. Once on the other side, it should be able to find its mother. One down, 3 to go.
You see the Batian? Okay, I got it. Okay, brought me down.
Okay, face down now, you're fine, but
They quickly run the cheetah. As before, Batian goes after it on foot. It hides in the thorn bushes, but the helicopter locates it from above. Batian grabs the second cub. This time, they're too far away from the fence. They'll have to take it on board the helicopter. The trip outside the fence takes only a minute. Batian leaves the cub and heads back out to get the others. It's been an eventful few days for wildlife expert Batian Craig. He's in northern Kenya working with the Northern Range Land Trust on an operation to save a critically endangered species of antelope called a Hirola. They're capturing 50 animals and relocating them to a fenced and protected sanctuary to start a breeding program. But the entire operation ground to a halt when 6 wild cheetahs were found inside the sanctuary. It's taken several days to locate and remove the predators. Now, with time running out, everyone is again ready to capture Hirola. They have already captured 18 and need 32 more. The capture nets have been set up. Now, helicopter pilot Mike Watson drops Batian and a few rangers at the net. Then he'll head straight back up to locate and begin pushing the animals to the trap. Batian and the others get into position on the ground. Mike is pushing a small group. The Hirola enter the funnel. They hit the back of the nets and become entangled. It's a great start. Most of the Hirola are female.
Yeah, that was a bit better. We got 3 females and a big man. Siko na tatu. Ine, siko na ine. Yeah.
Very nice.
The Hirola will be transported to the sanctuary by helicopter.
Yeah, natulia sana. We're just strapping their legs. And obviously, putting them into the chopper. We need to take every precaution there is.
The animals are given a sedative for their flights. Rubber garden hose is attached to their sharp horns. The lone male is not needed, so he is released. Each animal has been bagged so they can easily be carried to the choppers. 2 animals will go in Mike's helicopter and 1 in the KWS chopper.
Obviously, the heat is unreal. They're a hell of a lot heavier than we sort of thought. But yeah, they seem good enough. They obviously had quite a long run.
The Hirola are taken off the helicopters with the help of members of the Ishak Bean community, who will be running the sanctuary. While they're still drugged, the Hirola will be tagged, measured, and blood samples will be taken. But to minimize further stress on the animals, the vets are restricted to 3 minutes. The last Hirola is offloaded. Finally, they are taken into the holding pens where they'll be untied and woken up.
Have you done it, Omar? Yeah.
1, 2, 3. 20.
Batian helps rate the animals, so they will be able to stand once they come around. The first one comes to. Batian grabs hold of it so Matthew can finish with the last animal. These animals will spend the night here so that the vets can monitor them and make sure they're doing well before being let out into the larger sanctuary.
That is a success. Yeah, no, we're getting there.
It's day 7, and the capture continues to go smoothly. Push after push, Mike is able to drive groups into the trap. By late afternoon, they have nearly met their objective of 50 animals. Once the operation finishes, Batian, Mike, and the capture team will head home. It will be left to the community to run the project, helped by the Northern Range Land Trust. In a world where space for wildlife is diminishing, it will be up to partnerships like these to ensure that key animals like the Hirola are protected. But before anyone heads home, there are still 4 more animals to capture. Mike is pushing a large group towards the nets. If they get them all in, they will have met their target number of 50 animals. They'll also have time to attach GPS collars to the remaining Hirola and set them free. It's another success. The entire group gets entangled. Mike looks for a place to set the chopper down. They quickly load the first 2 animals for Major Koak to take back.
1, 2, 3, turn it. Okay. Hold it down and we'll bring a female to release with it.
Batian attaches tracking collars to the remaining animals. This will be the first time that the range of the Hirola will be charted. It's important information for the researchers and conservationists, and will help them come up with a long-term plan for the Hirola. The animal and its calf are carried out and away from the nets. They are released at the same time to ensure the calf stays with its mother.
Mum was lactating, so that was obviously her baby.
The capture team brings the final animal on board. The first phase of the Hirola operation has been a success. This is the capture work that Batian loves. He has left his full-time position at Old Pejeta and now consults on captures like this one and on rhino security for several conservancies, including Old Pej and Lewa.